Have you ever wondered why some people seem to glide through life with an almost inexplicable, gentle calmness? They are like a quiet river that knows how to bypass the rocks of anxiety. Instead of constantly struggling with their own minds while you are busy replaying awkward conversations from 3 days ago, planning scenarios that may never materialize, or agonizing over a blurry future, they simply abide peacefully in the present moment. That difference is not in the ability to control thought, a battle that cannot be won, but in something much simpler, a truth you have fleetingly sensed in those rare moments when the mind falls silent and everything simply feels right. What I am about to share is not merely a theory, but the path back to permanently living from that place of natural stillness. It is the deepest invitation to healing, to stop identifying yourself with the incessant noise inside your head, the noise and the silent witness. Most people do not realize this about living inside their heads. We mistakenly believe that the problem lies in the content of the thoughts, the worries, the replays, the endless planning, but the real issue is not what you are thinking. It is that you have forgotten there is a distinction between you and the mind doing the thinking. Imagine your mind as an old radio station. It constantly broadcasts background noise. Perhaps it is commenting on what you are reading here. Perhaps it is listing tomorrow's groceries, or perhaps it is replaying an embarrassing moment that happened hours ago. But here is the question almost no one asks. Who is listening to that incessant chatter? If you can hear the voice in your head, if you can observe it, acknowledge it, and follow its restless movements, then you cannot be the voice. You are something else, something deeper, a witnessing presence. That observing presence is you. The voice is merely a function the mind performs. Just as your heart beats or your lungs breathe, it is a biological activity, a mechanism, not your essential self. We have spent virtually our entire lives completely identified with that mental voice, whatever it says. We believe whatever it worries about. We worry about. We have never realized that we have the option to stop listening to it. This is the crucial pivot point. And where true freedom begins, when you realize you are not your thoughts, everything changes. It is like the moment a person wakes up from a long dream, and if you are still reading these lines, you are ready for that fundamental shift. Most people spend their lives resisting the possibility that they might be more than the voice in their head. Your willingness to question your most basic assumptions indicates you are open to liberation. The metaphor of the soul mirror, imagine your mind as an ancient mirror, which over time has become coated with the dust of the past and the condensation of future anxiety. The inner voice is the cloth attempting to wipe the mirror clean by analyzing and replaying every smudge, but the harder that cloth frantically scrubs, the more it smears the mirror, reflecting distorted images. The voice never stops because it believes that silence is dangerous. It genuinely thinks that if it does not constantly analyze, plan, and review, something terrible will happen. It is a defense mechanism programmed from ancient times when genuine danger lurked in the present, but today, most of what it says has nothing to do with a real threat. It is merely mental interference that treats every situation as a potential hazard. Your mind replays that awkward conversation from last week not because there is a genuine problem to solve, but because that is what it has been trained to do. It replays, it rehearses, it analyzes everything. The affliction of mental time travel. This behavior creates what I call mental time travel. Physically, your body is here, but your mind is everywhere else. Reliving moments of shame from years ago, imagining worst-case scenarios that have not happened, planning dialogues that may never take place, and the most frightening thing is that the voice feeds on your attention. Every time you engage with it, argue with it, or try to fix what it worries about, you fuel it. The more you struggle with it, the stronger it becomes. It is like trying to extinguish a fire by pouring oil on it. The people who appear naturally calm are not those who have stopped their minds from talking. They have simply stopped taking it seriously. They hear the voice, but they know it is not them. It is just background noise, sometimes useful, but often meaningless, and never the truth of who they are. When you finally understand this distinction, The feeling of being constantly stuck inside your own head begins to dissolve. The deepest source of suffering. Look deeper into the mechanism of suffering this voice creates. The voice always speaks of the past or the future it replays. What has happened or rehearses what might happen. It is never truly present in this moment because this moment requires no commentary. The present simply is. What is astonishing is how this mental noise creates an emotional echo chamber. The voice tells a story about what someone's text message really meant. You feel hurt. Then the voice analyzes that hurt feeling, creating more stories about the relationship, and suddenly you are distressed over things that exist only in your imagination. You end up having full emotional reactions to scenarios that have not occurred, conversations that only exist inside your head, and interpretations that may be entirely wrong. The suffering you feel does not come from what is happening, but from the stories your mind tells about what is happening. The anxiety you feel is not about the present moment, but about the scenarios your mind is imagining. The regret is not about what happened, but about the story you are telling yourself about what happened. The moment you see this clearly, you realize you have been living in a mental prison without knowing it, and the door has always been open. The anchor of awareness. So how do you stop living inside your head? This is the technique that changes everything, which I call the acknowledge and label practice. It is not about fighting or trying to silence the mind. It is about shifting attention from the content to the observer. When you catch your mind spiraling, replaying a conversation, planning tomorrow, or imagining what could go wrong, do 3 simple things. 1. Stop and whisper mentally, "I notice my mind is thinking about," and label it clearly. For example, "I notice my mind is replaying that argument," or "I notice my mind is worrying about the presentation." The power is in the acknowledgement. You are creating space. You are stepping out of the spin to observe it. 2. Remind yourself, "I am not this voice. I am the one who hears it." If you can notice the mental chatter, you cannot be the mental chatter. You are something else, a deep, unwavering witness. 3. Anchor your attention to something happening right now. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice 3 sounds around you. Take 1 conscious breath. This is not trying to stop thought, but choosing where your attention resides. The voice will continue to speak. That is normal. It is like the radio wave still broadcasting, but each time you notice it without getting drawn in. You are training yourself to live from awareness instead of from mental noise. Imagine you are the sky, and thoughts are the clouds. Clouds can be dense, dark, or light and fleeting, but no matter how they move, they never harm the sky. The sky is always vast, always unchanging, and always has room for everything. That is your true nature. The sky does not need to argue with the clouds, healing by coming home. In the coming days, you will find yourself recognizing the voice sooner and sooner. You will notice the chatter before it sweeps you away. You will hear the anxiety before it possesses your body. Each time you notice without getting drawn in, you strengthen your identity as the observer, not the voice. The change happens in layers of awareness, not overnight. But every time you remember that you are not your thoughts, you return home to yourself, to the deepest part of you where eternal peace always resides. Natural stillness has always been there, awaiting your return. It is not something you must seek or create. It is your default state when you withdraw attention from the mind's narrative. Choose awareness over noise, and begin living a life constructed from depth rather than the superficiality of incessant thoughts. Let the mind serve as a useful tool when necessary, but never let it become your master. True life awaits you in this moment, in the stillness of the observer.